Happy New Year, everybody. Hope your New Year's off to the most wonderful possible start. I didn't even plan on filming today. I've been planning, been going through and making all sorts of plans to give you all tons of really great quality content this year, 2023. And as I was going through some pretty thorough plans, I took a little break, scrolled through the internet, and came across this Rolling Stones article that just came out today about the top 200 vocalists or singers. I don't exactly remember what it was called, but top 200 singers of all time, apparently. You guys know if there's any two things I'm obsessed with, it's a voice, it's lyricism. So I'm going to check out this list. Didn't plan on recording today again, but I want to check out this list, and I want to check it out with you guys and give my on-the-spot reaction and thoughts to whatever this list is about to say here, because I'm curious. Rolling Stone, I don't always love these lists, but they're definitely cool for a topic of debate and conversation. So the 200 greatest singers of all time. I want to make sure before I dive into what their list is here, who's on their list, who's not on their list. I want to make sure that we're talking about, like vocal ability, just straight up singing, and we're separating that kind of just from music and discography, etc. Because I just want to go in here real transparently. Vocalists. These are the vocalists. I keep saying vocalists, singers. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here focusing on that and voices, making my judgments on what this list looks like up and down. And these lists are coming from, I'm pretty sure, like a few vantage points, not just one person that makes these lists. I think it's like several opinions within the group, the entity that is Rolling Stones. I think that's important to keep in mind as well. Okay, so Billie Eilish is on here, 198. Not surprised to see Billie on this list. I think Billie deserves to be on this list. Just a beautiful voice, lovely voice, love Billie's voice. I even think we got to hear a different version of Billie's voice on Happier Than Ever. Moving along. Kelly Clarkson is 194. So there's no way. This is already just really bad. Kelly Clarkson, it's just way too low. It's way too low. I don't know who else we're going to get into with these next 193, but I know that Kelly's going to be a better vocalist, singer than quite a lot of them. So that's already bad. That's already really bad. Kelly should be a lot higher. Brandy's right after Kelly. Brandy's voice is one of my favorite voices of all time. Perfect tone. I think Brandy's actually like one of the most underrated vocalists of all time. Just one of those singers that could sing, a dictionary, encyclopedia to you, and you'd just be in awe, in absolute awe. Jungkook is on here. Jungkook is on here, and I can already see a headband right under Jungkook. Frank Ocean's on here as well. 190. That's so interesting. First of all, shout out to Rolling Stone for being aware of Jungkook and just how great a vocalist Jungkook is. Absolutely deserves to be on here. Personally, my favorite vocalist from BTS, and it is really fitting. I think really deserving of this spot. Got this people are really well aware of Jungkook's voice. I think obviously if he's making a list like this, and it makes me happy, fills me with joy. Can do lots of different things. Can totally do that R&B sound. And has like a ton of range and a lot of control on his voice. And Jungkook in this spot makes me really happy. And ironically, Jungkook kind of has some Frank Ocean stuff in his bag. Frank Ocean's another one that deserves to be on this list, very much so. One of my favorite falsettos of all time with Frank Ocean, and also just someone that you feel every single word he sings to you. It's one of my favorite artists overall. So yeah, I'm definitely biased when it comes to Frank, but I'm glad to see him here. And we'll just keep waiting for that album. It's fine, Frank. Take your time. SZA. So I just listened to SZA for the first time. It's the video right before this. Is listening to that SOS project. SZA's voice is insane. It's nuts. Honestly, 180 might even be too low. I think you could bump SZA up higher. We'll see as we keep going. But SZA's voice is crazy. The flexibility, the acrobats that SZA can do with her voice. I was so blown away by not just that project, but putting that aside, vocally speaking, I was super blown away by SZA. Listening to SZA, definitely deserves being on here. Pop. Lana Del Rey ahead of SZA, ahead of Frank Ocean, ahead of Kelly Clarkson. I think Lana's a wonderful all-time writer. This is a bit of a misplacement in my opinion. I don't know what's going into the thought process behind this kind of list and putting Alana ahead of those artists if you're just focusing on vocals. Classic artists on here that I just have no. Chris Stapleton at 170, again, definitely deserves to be on this list. It feels low. And again, just like a few spots from Alana, it just doesn't feel right. But Chris Stapleton at 170 is already feeling low, but we'll keep going and see who else is on here. I don't know, like, what's the criteria with this list, because Chris Stapleton could be like a top 50 guy. Kelly Clarkson should be a top 50. Let's just keep going. Chris Stapleton, glad to at least see the name on here. Really, really love to see Mark Anthony on here. Carrie Underwood absolutely deserves to be on this list. Again, tons of artists. It's cool to see them showing so much respect to artists like of a different generation, inspired, I'm sure even inspired artists vocally in the modern day. Lauryn Hill, yeah, we love to see it. Absolutely. Lauryn Hill, yes. IU, I've checked out some IU on my Patreon as part of this some custom requests that I do over there, and it's cool to see the K-pop getting some respect on this list, especially vocally, because there's some real badass vocalists in that world, and it's Jungkook and IU I think are great representations of that universe. I think another one that comes to mind is Ailee. Ailee. Just listen to her recently. Insane vocally. Fiona Apple, I haven't listened to Fiona. I've heard a lot of really great things about Fiona Apple. The Weeknd, I like The Weeknd's voice. I really like The Weeknd's voice a lot, particularly listening to Weeknd in live performances. I think he actually tends to shine in live performances even more so, which is a testament to him and his talent. But again, I don't know what the criteria is, because there's definitely better vocalists that I've passed above 110. So I just don't know. I feel like now we're including styles, the stylistic approach. We're including discography, it feels like this at this point. So I don't really know what Rolling Stone put into this. I feel like they almost sometimes do things that are gonna get them clicked on more than anything else, and a lot of this list already feels like a strong representation of that. Huge shout out to Bill Withers, man, one of my favorite voices of all time. Eddie Vedder, Aaron Neville. What's cool about what I'm seeing on this list too is I mentioned so many singers of a different generation, but someone like me and many others are going to read this list to see names that are recognizable, but at the same time we don't listen to too much of in our own time, and we're going to reach out, especially those of us that love vocalists. We're going to go out and go listen to these artists. I'm definitely going to do that because I'm just that kind of person and music fan. Taylor Swift, 102. So definitely expected to see Taylor on here. I actually think Taylor is, people that watch my channel know how I feel about Taylor, and I think she's the best writer of this generation. I think that her voice might actually even be her most underrated thing about her. Her voice is nuts, especially when you listen to her evolution, you listen to the other stuff, and you start listening to the more recent stuff, and you watch her live performances. Taylor vocally it's one of her most underrated things about her, I think personally. Just an amazing vocalist, and like tons of range that I feel like might even surprise people that don't listen to Taylor regularly. That being said, I don't know what criteria we're using, because I wouldn't have her ahead of Chris Stapleton, a SZA, a Kelly Clarkson. If we're going just off of singing and vocalists, but again, what are you going to do at this point? Love seeing my guy Usher completely defined a whole generation of R&B, especially R&B vocals in that specific late 90s to early 2000s, and is still killing it to this day. Selena, I saw somewhere recently, I don't remember where, somewhere on the internet, and it's why I'm not on the internet as much as I used to be. I saw somewhere someone saying Selena wasn't a great singer, and it was like this thing that took off somewhere, and whoever, just ridiculous, just beyond ridiculous. I don't know what's going on with your ears. Michael Jackson, 86. MJ at 86 just feels crazy. It just feels crazy. Michael Jackson at 86. Rihanna coming in at 68. you know, you could have a quarrel with the spot here, maybe, I guess, but I do think it's interesting with Rihanna that you almost get, because Rihanna's got so many huge, massive pop hits that I almost feel like Rihanna's another artist whose vocals almost get not spoken about enough. Rihanna's voice is magnificently beautiful, an all timer. As she, and I'm looking at this thing right here, like Umbrella. I wouldn't even use that as an example. Like, that's not something that I would use as an example of what makes her such a great singer. Lady Gaga, 58, Star is Born. That's all I gotta say. Unbelievable vocalist. I have not listened to Lady Gaga album ever. I don't know anything outside of Lady Gaga's hits. But A Star is Born is all I need to hear or watch to know that Lady Gaga's a fucking all-timer. Tina Turner, absolutely. Toni Braxton's voice is fucking perfect. Really love to see her in the top 50 here because her voice is absolutely perfect. Ariana Grande, 43, was wondering when we're going to get Ari on this list. Knew she was coming. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at what we're seeing here. Ella, James Brown, Ari. Yeah, we're starting to get into the... See, this is... Now, I mean, I've already been, you know, pretty... I've disagreeable with a few of what I'm seeing here from a ranking point of view, but now you just got to hit me with the absolute all-timers, all-timers, like Mount Rushmore type shit, because you already just hit me in the 40s with what I feel like could be some Mount Rushmore type singers. Like, Ari could have been top 10, and who's gonna complain about that? So let's see what else they start to hit me with here. Louis Armstrong. The things he does with his voice make me sick. Adele. Definitely expected to see Adele. Not sure I expected to see Adele ranked so high. Yeah, definitely an all-timer of a voice, of a vocalist. Beyonce at 8, top 10 worthy. Absolutely expected to see Beyonce somewhere towards the top. And some Ray Charles, I love to see that. Mariah's another one I expected to see in the top 10. Kind of seeing some names that I did expect to see here, but you know, that leads me again to being very surprised that Michael Jackson isn't this high up. Whitney Houston at 2, yes, and Aretha Franklin. So I made my complaints with orders and whatnot. A lot of the artists towards the top absolutely are artists that I expect to see here. And I'm certainly no music historian, so when it comes to some of the much older artists, you know, I just assume that, yeah, absolutely have the rightful place in this list. That I'm not going to speak on them at all. But where in the world is Celine Dion? Where in the world is Miley Cyrus? Are we not listening to what Miley Cyrus has been doing vocally the last couple of years? Where is Miley Cyrus? Where the fuck is Miley Cyrus? Where is Celine Dion? I know, yeah, I'm biased. Where the fuck is Zayn Malik? Where's Zayn? Where's Bruno Mars? Where's Bruno Mars on this list? Where's Tori Kelly? Where is Tori Kelly on this list? Where's JoJo on this list? I feel like they confused a whole lot of discography, level of fame. I feel like the criteria is just all over the fucking place with this list, to be honest with you. Where's Mario? Where's Michael Bublé? Where's Sam Smith? And again, I'm not that I'm saying I'm going to take out a lot of these older artists to put those people in, because I'm not familiar with a lot of the names on this list. But the ones that I am familiar with, I can absolutely take out quite a few of them to replace, you know, a Bublé with, to throw a Tori Kelly in here, to throw a Zayn in here, to Miley Cyrus has to be on this list. Celine Dion, like, are we kidding ourselves? And Amber Riley right now, I feel like already earns a spot on here. A Tank, James Arthur. I'm avoiding even naming artists that are completely green, brand new, haven't been around, you know, super long. But the ones that I have named have been around as long as some of the other ones that I've seen on here that, I don't know. It's just this list kind of feels like a regurgitation of other lists that aren't talking about vocals and singing ability, and it's more so just getting into career and discography. And your voice is a part of that. The way you sing, the style with which you sing with is certainly all a part of that. Yeah, but I feel like you could have just titled this list something else, and it just reminds me of other lists that they've made, and now they're just all kind of the same thing. So yeah, happy New Year's, everyone. What a great start to the year.